Hey everybody, it's Nancy Scott with Masterpiece Quilting, and this is another 10 for 10, 10 questions in 10 minutes or less. Thank you to all of my newsletter subscribers who sent in some questions for me to answer, and this is a Ask Me Anything. So we're going to go ahead and try to bust through all these questions really fast. One of them that I got several questions about, and I try to organize the questions into themes. Staying organized. How do I stay organized in order to quilt as much as I do? And many times it's challenging. I've always have a running list of what quilts I'm working on, but I'm a big tote person, whether it be basket type tote or plastic shoebox type tote. 2.5 inch strips when I'm finished with fabric that I know I'm not going to be able to use in another quilt, fat quarter or smaller, I go ahead and I cut it into strips. And then whenever I'm working on a scrappy quilt, I tend to design those for 2.5 inch strips, and they're right here in this tote ready for me to grab. Project totes as I'm cutting out a quilt or as I'm finishing a quilt. I just finished up pinwheel posies, my leftover pinwheel circles. They're right here ready to get put away in case I need to use them for another one. And I've actually layered 2 projects in here. The Pedal Power Quilt Along was several months ago. All the fabric and everything from it are in the bottom of that tote. So obviously I've got some putting away to do. But that's how I stay organized, is putting everything back into a tote so that way when I'm ready to work on that particular project, everything that I need is right there and I'm not getting fabric from one project in with another. Speaking of being organized and putting things away, what is the smallest fabric scrap that I keep? 2.5 by 2.5 inch squares. I used to keep everything, and now it's kind of like I don't have space to keep everything. And realistically, as I design and work with things, 2.5 by 2.5 is about the smallest that I'm designing for. Every once in a while, if I've made a miscut on something and I end up with maybe some 2-inch strips and a lot of them, I will keep that. But basically a 2.5 by 2.5. If it's smaller than that, I don't keep it. My business name, Masterpiece Quilting. Nobody has ever asked me this. And I was kind of like, wow, I've been doing this for like 16 years and nobody's ever asked me about my business name. When you come up with Masterpiece, lots of times it gives people images that it has to be perfect, that you're creating this grandiose masterpiece. Well, that's a little bit of it. I'm a perfectionist. I like to do things very well when I do them. And I'm a work in progress on my perfectionist. Sometimes we just have to let go. We can't keep working on something to make it absolutely perfect. But I do like to make things and do things well. So if you're buying my patterns, if you're seeing my quilts, seeing my designs, you know that I have worked hard to do them well. Actually, Masterpiece kind of has a double meaning. The piece is in there because we're quilting, we're piecing, or patchwork, so the piece was in there that way. The master is, as a Christian, my reflection to my master, to God. So masterpiece kind of has a double meaning in there. Not only just doing things well, but also a reflection that God is the one who has given me these abilities, and God is the one who is directing me in how I use my abilities. So just a bit of a nod towards him in the masterpiece part of my name. Okay. Favorite quilt size to make. I tend to be a large throw type person as far as what I'm making. So maybe square, maybe rectangular, but something in about a 72, upper 60s, upper 70s, something like that. Big enough that if you're plopped on the couch, you can tuck it underneath your feet and you can kind of bring it up around your neck. So that's my favorite size of quilt. Favorite color, purple. I'm a purple person. Do I design a lot of quilts in purple? They normally have a little bit of purple in them. Yeah, right here, purple. This actually, if we want to talk about favorite color, periwinkle. This is one of my favorite colors that I do like to design with. actual favorite color, and this is just random that this happens to be handing here with these colors, but yeah, we got a lot of purple happening, is this really, I call it Grand Champion purple. I grew up showing livestock, so the color of a Grand Champion ribbon, but periwinkle, that's one of my favorites because it goes so well with blue, and blue's my second favorite color. Okay, moving on. I'm not sure where we're at on time. We may have to edit this. Favorite quilting tool. I don't know that I have a favorite quilting tool. I have many tools that I like and I use every day. I guess I like a good iron, one that gets nice and hot. I like a good rotary cutter that's nice and sharp. I like a sewing machine that lets me do what I want to do. So I'm kind of hedging on that one. I don't know that I have a favorite quilting tool. Okay, next question. How many UFOs, unfinished projects, do I have? I do not have a clue. I have a lot of them. The reason I have a lot of them, now I'm going to justify why I have a lot of them. The reason that I have a lot of them is many times I'm making samples as we're working through something. So I would finish this quilt and then I would have all the step outs and all the samples that I use if I'm demonstrating that. So when I get done demonstrating it, I end up with like part of a quilt. And it's like, do you make a mini version of that quilt or do you just stash all that away in a tote and tuck it in the back room? Yeah, so UFOs, I have a lot. I am trying to work through them. So if I open up one of my boxes with a UFO in it, and I'm really becoming very intentional about this, I ask myself, will I ever finish this project? And if the answer is no, many times I kind of bust that kit apart and use it for other things. Okay, what kind of a dog is Ruby? Everybody's fascinated with Ruby. Ruby is a Pembroke Welsh Corgi, and her coloring is what they call a red merle. So if you want to Google corgis, you're going to find all sorts of different color combinations for corgis, but she is a Pembroke Welsh Corgi. And the red merle, she has one blue eye, one black eye. Some of you have picked that out in some of the photos of her. And the coloring on her body, normally the body color of a corgi is a solid. Hers is real splotched, so that's that merle color. And I'm surprised she's not perking up over here like, why are you talking about me? Anyway, favorite vacation place, a beach. Sun and sand. That's me. Just kick me back in some sun and sand and flip me over when I start getting a little baked too much on one side. And did I always want to be a quilter? No, I wanted to be a veterinarian. But you know what? I don't do chemistry. Chemistry doesn't like me. I don't like chemistry. We did not get along. So getting into the pre-vet program did not happen. So, but that's what I wanted to be, was a veterinarian. What is the most important takeaway of that is that it doesn't matter what you want it to be when you start out with, but that you continually keep learning and keep growing and gaining new skills. And then, you know what? You might end up as a quilter. Anyway, here was 10 answers to 10 questions really quick so you can get to know me a little bit more. These are always fun. I appreciate it when newsletter subscribers send in these questions, and a lot of people will ask them on social media too, and that's fine. Keep asking away. I'll just keep a list. It's been a little while since we've done one of these, so I like to do one every 6 months. So let's see, this is May. Hey, maybe around November we'll do one again. Again, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Nancy Scott with Masterpiece Quilting. Bye for now.